Harbor Freight 14-inch by 40-inch lathe. The whole thing measures about 63 inches, has a live tailstock, half horsepower motor, and weighs about 50 pounds. So let's open this up and see what we've got inside. Okay, let's see what we've got. Pretty heavy stuff. Everything is greased up real well, and I'm not seeing any real ugly welds or any problems just yet. It's a lot heavier and a lot beefier than I was expecting, actually. So just for some weights, this is for turning bowls and things like that. We're talking 28 ounces. Can't quite see that on there. For sanding disc, I mean, it's heavy stuff. far as the machine goes, everything looks pretty clean. This will be before the sander. And again, when this is all put together, it should measure about 63 inches. About 63 from the end to that end. And a little miter gauge came with the sanding extras. And for the measurements of some of these parts, for our bowl mount, we're talking a little under 6, about 5 3/4. For our sander, should be 7 inches. About 7. The end piece here looks like it's metal, but that is plastic. So the wheel is plastic. It's of course metal. And some more of the specs. We've got 4 different speeds: 930, 1500, 2050, and 2500. Half horsepower motor. Max stock size 40 inches by 14 inches. Change speeds by changing your belt. Looks pretty standard for Harbor Freight. Not super polished, but not too bad. That's set up. It's a good idea to read the manual. This stuff is pretty self-explanatory. You can figure out where things go. I put the 60 grit disc on here. I figure that can be used also as a sharpener. The tool rest and the tailstock just bolt in. And as far as your live tailstock slides in. Adjustment for your tool rest. The adjustment for these is really pretty simple. It'd be nice if there was a crank on here, but it just slides in, undo it, move it around, and lock it. So let's plug this in and turn it on. I've not turned this on yet, so we'll turn this on at the same time. As far as the speed setting, this came set on the second level. So we've got the top speed, which is 2500, then 2050, then 1500, and 930 on the inside track. So just came on the second one. To change it, loosen the bolt, slide it up, shift it over, and drop it back down again. A little bit of a hassle, but everything's a trade-off. And depending on the size of the stuff that you're turning, you may not need to change that too much. I've been surprised how quiet it is. And these blades on the back of this sanding dish kind of give a nice little breeze to keep you a little bit cooler. So at 2050, there's also a nice little diagram here, so you can see exactly where you are. But it's not terribly loud. And here's this breeze coming through. Kind of blows a little bit of air this way. And again, for the measurement, it's about 62 to 63 inches, depending on where this plate is pulled out to. It's a large lathe, relatively speaking, for the price. This listed for $179, it was on sale for $149, and then I had a 25% coupon, which brought it down to about $112. And that's a lot of lathe for that price. It's not a top of the line by any stretch of the imagination, but should be adequate for a little bit of turning work. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks we can start getting some projects through and go from there. Thanks for taking a look.